Hi everyone. I have had several requests to do a video on how to do ombre color on your lips. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about ombre colors. And what ombre means is we are taking one color and blending it into a different color, or even three colors. It's different than just layering your LipSense the normal way, because that you're just doing one color at a time, one color on one layer and then let it dry, and then another color on a different layer and letting it dry. So you can mix colors that way with your LipSense. But this ombre colors means you're using one color on one part of your lips and then blending it into a different color on a different part of your lips. And there's different ways you can do ombre on your lips. You can go one color on the outside, and then that slowly blends towards the center into a different color. Or you can go from the top to the bottom, where your top lip ends up being a different color than your bottom lip. Or from the outside in. Today we're just going to do the traditional ombre, which is one color on the outside and slowly blending in towards the middle. So one of my favorite colors to do ombre with is mulled wine. And I know it's one of my all-time favorite colors, but I know a lot of you are really scared because you think it's super dark, and you say, oh, I can't wear a color that dark. But it is super great to be able to use this as a liner underneath your other colors, or for ombre colors, as you will see. My inside color today, I'm going to use Napa, which I love also. So I think those two will look really pretty together. So I'm going to do mulled wine on the outside and Napa on the inside. But with ombres, it's different than just lining your lips. You can totally use mulled wine as a lip liner too, where you just do a thin line on the outside and then let it dry and then go over it with your other colors. But ombre is a little different because we're actually going to blend it. So what we're going to do is put on a thicker layer and thicker outline of the mulled wine, and before it fully dries, we're going to use the Napa to fill in the rest of the lips and blend it in together so that you get a gradient going from the outside to the inside. So a little bit different application than normal, because usually you want to use really thin layers of color. But on this one, the outside, since we're blending it, I don't want it to dry before I get a chance to mix in the second color. So I'm using a little bit of a thicker layer, and I want to work fast so it doesn't dry right away. Okay. So you can definitely just use the applicators to put it on, but since we're using multiple colors, when you're doing the blending, you may get a little bit of the color from the darker color onto your lighter color. So if you don't want to do that, then you can totally use a lip brush or a disposable wand, but I don't really mind, so I'm just going to use my applicator to do it. Okay, so of course we have to start with clean, dry lips. We're going to shake up our LipSense, and then I'm going to open both bottles so they're ready to go. So I have my Napa and my mulled wine. Oh boy, okay. So I'm going to start with my mulled wine. I'm going to work pretty fast. I'm going to do a one layer on the outside, pretty thick width layer, as well as thick layer. So, and before that dries, I'm going to use my Napa to do the rest of it. So here we go. So you'll see, I kind of use my brush my applicator brush for my Napa, and I didn't go all the way to the edge with my Napa. I left a lot of that just with the mulled wine because I want that to stay dark. But I did blend probably halfway up my mulled wine layer, and then the inside is purely Napa. So I'm going to do it again with my top lip. Oops. Okay. Okay, so that's the first layer. So you'll see when I put on the mulled wine, I go about halfway up my lip, and then I leave the rest clear for the Napa. And let that dry a little more. And I'm just going to repeat the same process 2 more times. With mulled wine, I like to make sure that it's really dry before I apply it the next layer, because it is a darker color, and darker colors tend to do much better with a longer drying time than regular colors. Super light colors are like that too. They kind of take a longer drying time. They do better that way. There's less streaking. Okay, I think we're good to go. So I'm taking my mulled wine again for my bottom lip. We'll go halfway up my bottom lip. That was layer 2. And you'll see when between my layers, I like, if I start on this side of my top lip the first time, the next time I like to start on this side, because I tend to think that we put more LipSense on our applicator brush for the first half and not necessarily the second half, especially if you don't dip again for the second half. So it just evens it out a little bit. And same thing with your bottom. It's nice to alternate sides. So I started on this side last time, so I'm going to start this side for the third layer. And especially don't forget to do your waterline really, really well on every layer. Your waterline is where your lips touch when your mouth is closed, and that's going to be the part that wears off the quickest, obviously, because that's where all the friction is. Oh, I accidentally got some of my teeth there. And then we let this dry really, really well before we put on the gloss, but you can already see the gradient. See how it's lighter on the middle and darker on the outside. And I think I'll do glossy gloss today. This is really fun to experiment with, and you can do more than 2 colors if you want to as well. Okay, I think we're ready. And that is it. That is your ombre lip color with mulled wine and Napa. I love this look, and it's so fun to experiment with your LipSense colors. So even if you have only 2 colors, you can do so many different things and have different looks. So this is just another option to play around with your LipSense and get different looks out of it. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, just comment below or send me a message. Thanks for watching. Bye.